when you get angry, you go from Mac Geddick, and then you can become.
Is it like a fictional guy or is it just anything?
Anybody.
I mean, honestly,
this is the ugliest audience I've ever seen on King's Court. You, lady, you look like you should only be seen through a peephole in a box.
But 3J's all about it.
He's all about the street shit. You are way too cool to be a Urkel. I just met you, but I like you. I'm gonna get a poster of you on my wall.
Happened in the 90s.
Batman, Marcus Houston, man. Like, you know, they weren't telling Roger to go home then.
They wanted him to come over.
Yeah. They
and I mentioned the band Chocolate Milk that they sampled that We Got It song from. And I just got to say, like, I've never heard of them, but they're an 8-piece band in the same vein as like a Kool and the Gang or Earth, Wind and Fire type situation. So I need to go back and listen to some of that too. Chocolate Milk, Steve.
I feel like I've heard the original too.
Well, God bless. I mean, that's why one thing I used to love about listening to rap music in the 90s, when you figured out what samples were, to find those original songs, you know?
Yeah. Like a lot of stuff that you would hear in Tarantino movies, like a lot of those guys were sampled.
I mean, shit, Regulators, dude.
Yep.
Michael McDonald, dude.
That's a bad motherfucker.
I'm telling you, I feel like, honestly, like if you there has to be many videos of this, just playing and being like, what is the race of the person singing this? And when they see the white ass dude singing that, it just gives me hope that I might have some kind of like artistry like that inside of me, Steve.
How about my favorite example of this is Bobby Caldwell.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In my world, only you.
There's a couple of them, Steve. I mean, John B. He walked a little, so you know the whiteys could run a little bit. But Michael McDonald, I feel like in that sect of white guys with legit soul, he has to be the most talented one because he has multiple bangers, Steve.
I mean, you can't overlook Hall and Oates, though.
Michael McDonald was out there just doing it solo dolo, Steve. They had Hall had Oates and Oates had Hall. You know what I'm saying? They could withstand that. But Michael McDonald had to walk into rooms where people are like, man, who the fuck is this? And they're just, I can't believe I'm in love anymore. I can't forget. Dude, he has this banger of a song that was on this Billy Crystal 80s movie. And I'll have to look it up because it is, I still listen to it. I mean, I listened to it while working out in 2024. I'll look it up right now because we're talking about it.
Well, you know, he was in Doobie Brothers before he was solo.
Yes, he was.
The streets. Yeah, that's a bad motherfucker, though.
Okay, the song's called Sweet Freedom.
Gregory Hines?
I think it is Gregory Hines. The movie is called Running Scared.
Running Scared, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So shout out Michael McDonald, dude, out here for all of us cracker white people that he's the one that like gives us a little bit of credibility, Steve.
White chocolate. And today we're going to be talking about a Raw episode that was dominated by the Kliq, dude. And I know you've seen enough shoot interviews to hear about the havoc that they had, man, in the mid 90s. Like they basically ran the whole, like, I know Vince was the president and CEO and shit, but they were like,
I love that though.
They were the bullies, man. Like they were running shit, bro.
I don't like bullies, but in this specific instance, I love it because of the Kliq. I mean, Shawn Michaels is out here just like, I'm going to announce most of this. Like, he's getting in where he doesn't even belong and still killing it also. Still entertaining.
It's the Shawn show. The only thing that's missing is Razor Ramon. Like, okay, Diesel wasn't in it, but he's mentioned, and you got Sean Waltman in there, a young 1-2-3 kid.
God, thank God he grew a beard because without a beard, he looks special, Steve.
He looks like Cousin Richie. Like season 3 when he had that curly mullet.
Yeah.
Like I hate
I
how they
love.
skip seasons. They just skip years in life. Like 1 year he's a baby, and then like he's in kindergarten by season
Motherfucker
2.
has a Jerry curl.
Yeah. Hi, Uncle Carl. Who is this kid?
Who is this? I'm original Gangster Dawg. Oh god damn it. Yeah,
Dude,
dude. I do respect Sean Waldman though, because of anyone, like the Kliq, it all makes sense, and then you see him, and it has to be. He's the one that doesn't belong to me, to be honest with you. He's funny as fuck, but he's just a small, weird-looking guy.
he was the kid. He out of the collective, he was the youngest one, man. And you do know he's the only one that was in both like iconic factions, man, the NWO and DX. So that's something to
That's
hang your head
dope.
on. Yeah.
Also, only one to have a distributed pornography movie. So that's he did that too.
I guess Page doesn't count because it was a sex tape.
Yeah, but his little disturbing, but he did it, Steve. He climbed the mountain.
Should have used better camera angles. That's my only
And
gripe.
stop narrating it. Stop going, I love you. God, you're so beautiful, baby.
Yeah, this is a corno, man. There's no room for love.
Yeah, I can't hear that.
By the way, you know how like when Bill Bixby got mad, he turned to Lou Ferrigno. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's say you're Matt Banner,
Okay.
and like you when you get angry, you go from Matt Geddick, and then you can become
Is it like a fictional guy or is it just anything?
anybody.
I mean, honestly, if I could, I'd like anybody. I'm going. I mean, this is going to be very weird, but I'm just going to say it. I would love if I have to whoop someone's ass. Turn me into Michael Jai White.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
I mean,
I knew it.
fuck it. Hell yeah. I would love that.
Bill Bixby can become.
I mean, he became a real guy that he was just painted green. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mike, I don't even need Mike to do shit. Just come out, just, be you.
He becomes a black man.
I mean, that's why I was like, it's getting a little weird, but you know what? Fuck it. Michael Jai White, you could do worse. Hell yeah. What about you though, Steve? I'm wondering where you're going with this.
Easy. Original Gangsta Dawg.
Okay. Shit, girl. Let me sleep on your couch.
Well, hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Ty Detmer jerseys and your Toy Story 2s and let your mind go. Put you in the mood. Let your body groove. Let it soothe. Feel the funk now. Feel the funk now. Feel the funk. Let the rhythm take you. Yeah, well.
Is that Skip Scarborough?
Well, today, my friend, we're talking all things December 5th, the 90s. Starting off in 1992, the final episode of Groove Troop is aired, and like we just talked about the debut of it like 3 months ago. Like, I don't get it.
I don't get why, like how it became so, because it's like kind of like a cult hit, like especially the movie.
Yeah.
That shit. Wait, is that the guy from Immature too? Did Marquez Houston sing that song, Steve?
That's Tevin Campbell.
Sorry. Okay, my bad. But I was never huge into the Goof Troop. I never liked Goofy as a kid. I thought it was like lame. I thought it was bleh. I like the animation and stuff, and I do like the Goofy movie. I think it's like a really cool kids movie and stuff, but I don't know. I don't really have too many feelings about it, good or bad.
2 seasons. All within 1992. Like I don't understand that. How did they break them up? Like they I know they were syndicated, so they were Monday through Friday. 78 episodes total, man. They started September 5th, and by December 5th, they had went finito, man. And I guess that was enough for.
I gotta collect the bag, Steve. Yeah. Maybe that's not even Goofy, but you know, they were just trying to shove these old Disney characters down our throats, and some of them took, but like shit like this, I don't know about you, but I just thought Goofy was kind of just like a lame character. You know what I'm saying? Even as a dad. Yeah, I mean, he's good as a dad. That's why the movie kind of works, but whatever. You know, no shade to Goofy, man.
No, all shade to Goofy. Fuck Goofy. I watched this final episode because I'm a glutton for punishment, and it's basically Goofy telling his son Max about his ancestor, caveman Goofy. And so they go back to the prehistoric times, and hilarity, I guess, was supposed to ensue. But yeah, man, let me tell you about your grandfather. And then, like, so caveman Goofy, he had like a foe in caveman Pete.
Oh,
And yeah,
no,
because that
I
Pete
knew that.
ancestor, they got a hit. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah.
Him and Pete fucking they do some kind of weird shit though behind the scenes, dude. In the movie, Pete gets like a crazy RV. So I feel like they just go on like weird sex road trips and stuff, like autofocus style. You know what I'm saying?
Pete's a butch queen. We figured it out.
I'm a top.
And his wife looked like I don't know, like a early '90s anthropomorphic Halle Berry.
I like that.
Like for
Pulled
those
that off.
standards, yeah, his wife was hot.
But what about Goofy's wife, dude? Like, where is the wife? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm going a little questionable on the relationship with Pete because, you know, he's living right next door. Goofy's got nobody in the house. So what's going on here, Steve? I think we need to do a true Hollywood stories about the Goofy movie and Goof Troop in general.
Hey, Pete, the wifey's away.
Hey, Pete, is this your watch? God damn it, Goofy.
Oh, jeez. 1994, WWF is airing season 2, episode 44 of Monday Night Raw. It's weird breaking it down in seasons and episodes. But yeah, man. We get Vince on the commentary. This era sucks, but this is one of the things that is good about it because you get Vince on the mic, and he always has this. And I'm still trying to figure out who to compare it to. It's like when he does his high pitched tone. It's not quite like Mr. McMahon from the Attitude Era. It's like Adam Sandler in when he does like this doggo. Oh, he's on the top. It's like Adam Sandler meets who's the guy from the Christmas movie? Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas! Like from the old Black.
Yeah, Miracle on 34, or the one where he's like, "God bless us, everyone." That movie, yeah, hell yeah.
Have America. Cary Grant, is that?
No,
Stewart, Jimmy Stewart.
There you go. Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like a combination of them. Oh, he's all.
Dana Carvey did a hell of a Jimmy Stewart impersonation, by the way. But yeah, Vince McMahon he doesn't get enough like cred. Obviously, he's an evil genius. He's a business genius. He's got some questionable morals. We you know, all of the rich people do. But what I became aware of before anything else, he's a fucking great announcer, Steve. He does great at this.
Around this time, I'm just thinking he's an employee. Like he did a great job of making this whole thing a ruse.
Plus, just in general, like the pop and circumstance, like the energy you want, like when the shit opens up, and he's like, "Welcome to Poughkeepsie!" Like the whole, he knows how to do it. So, Vince, dude, we're just gonna keep singing your praises over here on Happened in the '90s. So, you know, this is a safe spot for you. And
I just hope it doesn't get worse. Just like I hope like what we've heard, that's where it stops.
I mean, I don't like his wife's with Trump and this and that, but it's his ex. So Linda, you know, it is what it is. She looks like she'd love to hang out with Trump, but you know, one thing I forgot about, and I think it's changed obviously a lot, like the intro music, but they got a nice, like, sexy little sax on this that I just love it, dude.
Yeah, this era of Raw, man, it's like a Silk Stockings kind of.
Yes, yeah. You expect that, like, the next scene is going to be in, like, a bed with, like, a sweaty detective and a chick. Like, God, Tony. I don't know why I went that deep into it, but hell yeah.
No, it gives you those vibes.
But Vince ain't going solo on this commentary, Steve. He opens it up, but then all of a sudden HBK just comes out because Poughkeepsie needs HBK, Steve. They need it. They need the sexy boy.
The Heartbreak Kid is in the house.
Dude. This is, I wouldn't say that, I'm with you. I wouldn't say this era does suck, but shit like this, like they managed to make something like the matches in this atrocious, but it's entertaining as hell.
And another thing I do appreciate is the innocence of it, because we're still in this era of having the jobbers and, their enhancement talent, if you will, where the guys are already in the ring. They don't have an entrance song. They don't have like any kind of moniker to their name.
They're just doing this, getting warmed up. They're like, man, I'm going to get fucked up. So let me get ready here.
Get some gas money and I'm back home.
Plus, some of the shit, because we get like obviously ads for other things, and they're like, giving other stories some play in this that we don't get to see. But I forgot Bob Backlund's insane like journey in the WWE, where he was like an old school guy, came back, and then he becomes like a psycho.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was supposed to be like a good guy when he first came back, and then like halfway through, he just snapped on people.
And he would hold moves on too long. He had like a cross-faced chicken wing, if I'm not mistaken, that I think he held on to Brett a little too long, if I'm not from one of the stories. But him as a psycho is crazy enough. But when you also note that he kind of looks like Ferguson from Clarissa Explains It All if he grew up and did roids, it's fucking, because he has the bow tie. He just looks like a douche.
Howdy doody.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, it's weird, but we get HBK. He comes down and he's doing his thing. I was like, is this guy gonna just like do like a little promo or something? No, he does that, but then he's like, you know what? Let me just go down, hang out with Vince for the rest of the night. Which it's inferred that Vince didn't know this was happening, but obviously he did, Steve.
Well played, Vince.
And then speaking of egos, Steve, the first match involves Jeff Jarrett. Which at this point in Jeff Jarrett's career, we've discussed it before. I don't know what like the fashion vibe or like what he's going for, because he's a country western singer, if I'm not mistaken. But now he looks like he's like hanging out with David Bowie and like some Rocket Man shit.
Like he should be under a Christmas tree. But unbeknownst to us at the time, the coolest person involved in this match is his protege, the Roadie. It's hilarious seeing these pre-Attitude Era characters, man.
Yeah, dude, Roadie looks very familiar, Steve. But I know a road dog when I see one. So this is before he got into the Union,
And by extension, this is another Kliq member. Well, he's like an unofficial Kliq member because he would later be cool with Trips and everybody.
And just an all-around badass still to this day. So shout out Road Dogg. Shout out Jesse James. And then going up against Davey Boy Smith, Steve, British Bulldog. So Double J against Davey Boy Smith. Davey Boy, no braids. But what he's lost in the extensions on the head, he's more than made up for in the insane amount of fringe on his boots, which I also never understood. It seems like you trip over it immediately,
This is Fabio era British Bulldog, man. This is what he was sporting in that cage match when Brett was going against Owen at SummerSlam. Yeah.
I mean, he's got good teeth. So he's really one of the best looking people from the UK at this point in time in the United States. But speaking of crazy fashion, going back to Jeff Jarrett, not only does he have the weird look, he's got the crazy glasses. He's got gold everywhere, including his dick. He's got like a gold cod piece thing, which
it's like a ribbon cod piece.
He's waiting for somebody to unwrap him, Steve. I forget Deborah. What was that? Wasn't that her name? The one chick he used to go out with? Yes. Yeah. Okay. She's not there yet. So Road Dogg, I guess he had to help him put that thing on. That's fucked up.
Ain't not great.
But I do got to give, because I'm a hater of rest in peace, British Bulldog. He looks the part. He's a beast. He's a powerhouse. All the good stuff. I've usually been a little bit negative about his charisma, but at one point, really early on in this match, he fucks Double J up and does like the little Double J prance thing, and I thought that looked cool. He definitely pulled it off.
I thought it was the braids that made you not like him. It's just his whole.
It's just it's just the vibe. I respect he got to hang out and was like related to the Hearts and stuff, but I've seen a lot of guys that can hold a guy up in a suplex for 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying, Steve? I've seen Ric Flair do that.
Yeah.
So that's not impressing me. I wish I looked like him physically sometimes.
Don't we all?
But, the braids were just one thing where it was just, that was a crazy just decision. But, all in all, I just don't really like the vibe too much. You know what I'm saying?
At some point, Vince McMahon's like, his single, Ain't I Great? You can't find it in any store. You can't find that thing anywhere. HBK is like, yeah, it's selling off the charts. It's selling off the show. Just making this shit up as they go. I love it.
Yeah, dude. I always wondered about that. Like, how do they get ready? Do they have any notes at all? Like, I guess maybe Vince has some kind of like outline, but goddamn, they're good at improv. And at one point also, not at many points also, the Roadie's just sort of, he's the guy, he's like the assistant, but anytime Double J gets like knocked out of the ring or anything, he inserts himself between Danger and Double J just to give him a little break, like a good Roadie should, Steve.
Yeah, he's moving like a Roadie too, like Repo Man style, like just always crouched over, like, need some cable pulled.
Yeah. Hey, let me pick that up. Let me get those glasses. Got him. But yeah, dude, and basically, strange match, but the Roadie very integral to the end because at some point both guys get out of the ring. Double J goes back in the ring, and right before the guy's about to count to 10 and count out a bulldog, he's getting into the ring, but the Roadie just holds on to the fringe. And that's all it took, Steve. And then it's over. It's over with because he gets counted out. So the fringe, huge liability, just like I said.
You called it, yeah.
And Roadie, I mean, you want this guy. Van Halen, keep an eye out if his fucking schedule opens up because he's all hands on deck, Steve. He's ready to go.
And he can keep them blunts rolled on deck.
Hell yeah. I do love that.
But
we need that.
Yeah, Double J gets the victory, man. But like the promo for the Holiday Wish Tour is this Thursday. It starts in Erie, PA, and then they go to Rochester, then they go to Syracuse, and then Utica, and then Sacramento. Yeah,
I like in Erie though. They take a little shine from Cleveland because they're like, don't make the mistake by the lake and miss this one, guys.
Oh, what a shout!
I love that. But yeah, not quite going to those mega city places that you'd expect now, where they're always in like New York City, the big spots. Now they're in Poughkeepsie, Steve. Now they're in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Raw is still in its grassroots territory, man. Like they're mostly doing the ballroom thing. I think this was the only place they did Raw at the time, but they would do those mini tours in other places. But then they come back with footage of the American Sportscasters Convention, and you see Burt Sugar from boxing fame. He's there. Dick Enberg, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Yogi Berra, and they even got Tommy Lasorda from Rolaids commercials.
Vince is hanging out, hobnobbing. Who are the stars out that they sent to this fucking thing?
I did see Kevin Nash there. I think he was there with Kareem. I did see Doink there making an appearance.
Doink, that's the guy you send with the full makeup. I'd be like, hey, this is a fucking broadcasting of a like excellence award. Dick Enberg, legends here. Hey, Dick, come over here. I want you to meet somebody. Here's Doink. Dick Enberg's like, Christ. God damn it.
Oh, man, that would have been great if John Madden and Doink were together, man. But
they did a couple blasts in the bathroom. Steve Doink was the drug hookup that night. Like, you need anything, go to the clown. He's got it all. I mean, anything.
Next match is 1-2-3 Kid versus Barry Horowitz, and he gets a notable mention because he was always the guy that patted himself on the back. He was kind of a prominent jobber from this time, man, from the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. hella luscious mulletry on deck in this match in full effect. Both guys have insane mullets. Barry Horowitz notwithstanding. And the one thing that I don't remember shit from about Barry Horowitz because, like you said, I think he was just kind of a jobber dude. But his name sounds like he's like an attorney at law that helps you with like workman's comp claims. Like, have you been wronged at work? Call Barry Horowitz now. Like, he has like a lawyer name.
Yeah, I think this match doesn't even last 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3 Kid, he gets like back to back flying kicks to the face.
Yeah.
And
that was his move, dude. That was his like signature kick for a while. That if you held B in a video game, that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? That little windmill kick.
I feel like on the game he did something off the top rope. Didn't he do like a
Did he have a leg drop off the top rope? It was something mid.
I think he did like a somersault splash or like.
I mean, he was doing some more aerial shit when he was younger, but you know what I remember from him was like the Bronco Buster and shit like that. And he's not there yet. You know, he's just spin kicking guys. He's like a Rocky Maivia type at this point. You know.
Yeah, he's Little Mac. And if you look at his gear, he's literally wearing the same thing as X-Pac, just different colors, and it doesn't say X on it.
Yeah, they took the 1, 2, 3 off. They were like, all right, just slap some paint over that and put an X on it, bud.
And then they have a promo for Bob Backlund and Doink. And I guess that's going to be the following Raw.
He has made a mockery of this. He looks like he's taking a shit all the time. He's just like wide-eyed. He's putting like a hemorrhoid shit out there, Steve. He's hurting.
Yeah, somebody put something in the Ovaltine. Yeah.
He got bullied as a kid, I feel like. But Doink's been fucking with him. So next week, that's what's going to happen. I don't know he might stab Doink. It's weird that the clown's the less scary of the two, you know?
Right. And then they cut back to this little girl, and she's here for it. She's just in awe, like, But the promo for WWF Raw, and I used to have that video game for Sega. Yes. Like, whenever you hit somebody,
yeah, it sounded a little weird, hell yeah, but it was a great game. It was like in the vein of that, the arcade game. It was like basically the same one, but with new guys in it, you know?
It was a step in the right direction. You know, we went from the old WrestleMania game with Hogan on the cover, and then I think there was it Wrestling Challenge? I had that one too on NES, and then like either this one came out first or there was another game for Sega that came out.
I feel like it was the arcade game. It was like All Stars or something like that.
Superstars, maybe? Yeah.
That might be it. I'm going to look it up right now, Steve. We have access to the internet.
But there's a mock match that they show with 1, 2, 3 Kid and Shawn Michaels. And I remember this finisher, Shawn, like he gets in the air and like spins like in a 360 and does a drop kick. Like
dude, okay, so we had Raw, which is what we're talking about. We had WrestleMania, which appears to be the same. No, that's a little later. Royal Rumble, I think, might have been the one that we're thinking about.
Royal Rumble, it is.
It was, yep, because it has Bret Hart, Undertaker, Mr. Perfect, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, and Shawn Michaels on the cover. I'm looking at the SNES cover, but this shit was tight. I like this, but this was more button mashy. When we got into THQ, into the golden era of wrestling video games, is what I like to call it. That's when they really figured it out. But this was dope. And plus, when from the NES to this, the graphics were incredible because you could tell, like, oh, dude, that's fucking Bret Hart. Like, he had the hair and shit. It wasn't, you know, you look at the crowd behind Steve, it's not going to blow your mind. But for us in the 90s, we're like, dude, it's not going to get any more realistic than this. This is crazy.
Right. And there's a chair outside. You could pick up the chair and hit him with it.
No, dude. I submitted his ass. Got to work the leg.
And the next match is Kwang versus Scott Taylor. Do you know who Kwang is, Matt?
Steve, I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
And I do know that Kwang, it's none other than Savio Vega, if I'm not mistaken. He's a little, I gotta say, I think Savio kind of got his shit together after this because he's a little like looking a little loose in the fucking, he's looking a little hefty, Steve. He's big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got him high, they got him hidden under a lot of shit though.
So since you did your research, I'm sure you know who Scott Taylor is.
Scott Taylor, I didn't really do my research, but is he Scotty Too Hottie, Steve? I recognize the face, but he didn't have the gigantic like Static X hair and the hat. If I'm not mistaken, he had like a Dr. Seuss hat he used to wear.
He had a Doherty hat.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got a party, Steve. He's the party guy. Shout out Doherty. He's probably walking in Alaskan wilderness right now. God knows where, but he's awesome. Scott Taylor at this point, he's not doing the worm at all. He's just getting the shit kicked out of him, Steve, by Kwang.
Enhancement talent, man. Maybe they had contracts, some of these jobbers, because I think he was an enhancement talent all the way up into the Attitude Era when he became Scotty Too Hottie with the Grandmaster Sexay.
Yeah, dude. That shit was hilarious, though. Shout out to Scott Taylor for putting in the work and getting to some sort of level where you were one of the talents that they put out there. Because they were like big, him and Rikishi and shit. Because didn't Rikishi fuck around with them too?
He was a part of that dance troupe. Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude. But also in this match, and you can maybe educate me on this, Steve, but there's this guy, Harvey Whippleman, who I don't know if he's the manager for every bad guy in the WWF at this point, because he comes out many times.
Right.
But maybe he's there to be with Shawn Michaels. I don't know. But he's got it out for Howard Finkel, Steve, in a way that it's completely disrespectful. He's tearing shit up, throwing it in his face, berating this guy, this legend.
Yeah.
Right in front of the camera. Nobody's doing anything about it, Steve. I don't understand it.
Harvey Whippleman, he was the last of a dying breed, man. Like the managers were booming in the 80s, man. But going into the 90s, you were starting to see less and less of them. I think Heenan was gone by this point. Jimmy Hart, he had jump shipped at this point. You don't have Sherry. You don't have Elizabeth. So Harvey, he was one of the few that were still there. And obviously, you still had Paul Bearer. But yeah, he was in this match as the manager of Kwang, and he managed the Well Done in the main event. But some backstory on him, he was the guy that like basically babysat Dwayne Johnson whenever his father was out and doing matches and stuff. Personal assistant in a way, like helping him take care of his stuff, like while he was busy wrestling.
That's fucking dope, though.
Hey, can you watch my son? He's going to be a legend too.
He breaks a lot of shit. He's huge. Anyway, Harvey, go throw some paper at Fink. It's getting on my nerves.
I don't appreciate it.
He's fucking, and Howard Finkel, a man usually of class, distinction, and you could tell starting to get under his fucking, it's getting under his skin a little bit, Steve.
He's getting peeved, as he should, man. Like, why are you messing with the Fink? He don't harm nobody.
No, man. He's here to fucking help. He's just helping. He don't harm nobody.
He don't harm nobody.
Yeah, dude. I don't like it. Next we got, I guess this is something that happens every week, maybe not, but it's the King's Corner, Steve. It's a time, where we get to just take a breath and have Jerry Lawler just give us a take on something. This week it's been a little mysterious. We don't know who his guest is. Shawn Michaels has alluded that he's talked to the King, and from what he can disclose, it's probably going to be the greatest guest he's ever had, or maybe the greatest guest of any show ever. So I'm excited, but I don't know who's coming out.
And Jerry, he's one of the funniest guys in all of wrestling, man, because before he introduces his guest, he tears into the crowd. This is the ugliest audience I've ever seen on King's Court. You, lady, you look like you should only be seen through a peephole in a box.
Don't put a camera on her. Don't put a camera on her.
All you unemployed losers, you know about guiding light. More like one life to live. Look at this fat one. One life to eat.
I mean, it is Def Comedy Jam, Steve. And I love it. I love this energy. Come out. He's got that same Rick Rude type energy where he's like, this is the most disgusting, shitty place I've ever been to. Fuck this. It's a good heel move. That's a great, just like easy way to get some heat. You know what I'm saying? You're fat. You're ugly. This town sucks. Yeah. And then you just sit there and you have to fucking deal with it. So shout out to King, dude. But he brings out his mysterious guest. And I don't want to say Sean wasn't wrong at all because he's the guest, Steve.
He's responsible for Diesel's championship run.
Yeah, he's the reason. Diesel is just this fucking guy. You don't know fucking who Diesel was before HBK told you that. You needed me to tell you, to put you onto it.
Nobody knew who Big Daddy Cool is. I put the cool in the Big Daddy. He brought that bum out the gutter. That's what Jerry said.
Diesel is so stupid. He wanted to invest in a tall man shop in Tokyo, Steve.
Yeah.
He thinks Hamburger Helper comes with another person to help you make it. That's how dumb Diesel is.
Oh, Jerry, man.
And Sean's like, look, guys, fuck an interview on me. I want to ask you and the audience a couple of questions. And one question was what we just said. Did you ever hear of Big Daddy Cool before HBK told you? There's no answer because there is none. No. And do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Because remember one thing. HBK put the cool into Big Daddy. Pause. All that gold he's worn on the WWE, Steve, it's because Shawn Michaels himself put it around his waist. So without the fucking HBK bump that you gotta get in the WWF at this point, Diesel's just some guy fucking tending bar wherever the fuck he's from and bumblefuck wherever.
You're welcome. And just as easy as I made you, I could easily deconstruct you. Ah! Think I'm cute. Oh, sexy.
Yeah. I just wish I had hair because the way he like flips his hair and stuff, it looks insane. But dude, HBK, a legend. He's made this awful string of matches great. Kwang, Steve. It's like when you're one letter away from a character on Ninja Turtles, you need to alter that. You know.
I know you're Puerto Rican, but we'll make you a Japanese samurai.
Man, how the fuck we gonna do that, man? That look Puerto Rican. Put a hood on. I don't even care if you could breathe. Anywho, next up is a match. I mean, absolutely nobody wanted this, Steve.
But what about the Snowball Derby, Matt? We got our little vignette for Bob Sparkplug Holly.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was his thing before he was hardcore, Steve. Yeah. He was a race car driver.
Everybody had to have an occupation. You, Dennis, you, garbage man.
Bob, UPS get man. Out there and get in that NASCAR. Vince, I got DUIs, man. Get in that fucking thing. We got a promo to shoot.
It's not even the Kentucky Derby, not Kentucky Derby. It's not the Indy or anything. It's a Snowball Derby. What is that?
It's one step away from go-kart track, Steve. I mean, they got him in there for the footage they got, but that motherfucker was doing like 15 on the track. And then they were like, get out of this fucking thing, dude. Nice I could smell the fucking whiskey on your breath, bro.
Maybe that's what pissed him off all those years. But yeah, man, this main event, this is what sold me. This main event, man.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because well done, Steve. You know, dude, would you say that this whole match in and of itself is well done?
Perfect 10, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well done. I got to say, again, just speaking on the fashion, don't put black leggings on under whatever the shit is because it looks like they're just wearing a bikini that a chick would wear. It looks bizarre when they're wrestling. It doesn't look right. They look wrong in every way. They're not well done at all. Thank God it's a play on words and Dunn's not spelled correctly because it's the last guy's name because it's not right. They're not well done, Steve.
Stephen Dunn and Timothy Wells, they're wearing Spanx.
I did not know the other. That is awful. Timothy Well and Stephen, you fucks. You fucking idiots.
I hate it so much. Kill it with fire, Jesus.
Yeah, but I want your opinion on this. Didn't you ever like the Bushwhackers, Steve?
I like them now more than ever.
Oh
Like
my!
as a kid, I never got it. Like, why are y'all still around for this long? But like they served their purpose. They knew they weren't supposed to be stars. They knew that they weren't LOD or even Demolition. Hell, they were not even Powers of Pain. But they knew that's what I
They
like
weren't
about
even well done, Steve.
not even undercooked. But they knew their place. They knew their assignment, and this is a team sport, Matt. You know, that's a part of the whole shebang, man. Like, you know, everybody can't be Hogan, everybody can't be Warrior, and that's what a lot of guys mess up on, man. You know, they come in there, they want to be the top dog, you know, but dude, it takes so much to be that, man. The ring work, the mic work, the charisma. Do people give a damn when you come out? They knew their lane and they stayed in it the whole way. You never heard about them complaining. They never won a belt, but like, man, we're here to like put smiles on the kids' faces, and I can appreciate that. I wasn't one of the kids who like love seeing them because like, oh, you're just gonna lose. I know you're good
Yeah.
guys, but you're just gonna lose.
You're going to
But they're
battering ram or miss the battering ram move, which is one of the most ridiculous. But you're right. Now that you phrase it like that, it's more of like it's like a cartoon aspect of it. They're still
they're,
like that. They're just like
they're harmless.
ridiculous.
They're hilarious.
They're imbeciles from Australia that just are here to party, Steve, and it gets a lot out of hand. That's where I'm going with it.
And they were on an episode of Family Matters, so bonus points.
It's the people look of the Bushwhackers. But it's not, this match is not well done. Everyone looks just kind of bloated, like they've been drinking a lot right before the match. Well done. Get some help from Harvey Whippleman. As you know, he's the bad guy. He's out here fucking with Fink and helping out in this match. And then somebody puts like the way they win, even it's like he just jumps, puts a knee into the guy's back, Butch or Luke or whatever the fuck his name is, and just pins him. Like these guys are out of control, but a knee to the back, Steve, is there an off switch that he hit? I didn't get that,
It's something about those sneak attacks, man. You could put 17 power bombs on a motherfucker, but when you catch him off guard from behind, oh man, yeah. Schoolboy roll up, a kick in the back.
Yeah.
Gets him every time.
Yeah,
And
well done. Yeah, I guess it was. That last knee to the back, Steve, very well done.
chef's kiss. And what is actually well done are those running leg drop, like leg snaps that the one guy does. I did appreciate that because they were crisp. I think he did it like twice. He ran into the ropes and then like he did like a little famouser, like while Butch had his head down. He like,
oh yeah. Okay, hell yeah, that was that. I'll give you that.
That took precision. That was well done.
That was well done. You're calling me out on my bullshit, Steve. I'm an adult. I can handle it. It's fine.
Not well done was Luke's haircut, and even HBK comments. Look at Luke's head. Looks like it's free haircut day at Rikers Island. Oh!
And that's what makes this episode, Steve. Just a little HBK sauce on top. Just a little Salt Bay of HBK.
Got that Balrog dude, man. I hate it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't think those guys. Here's what I want to know about the Bushwhackers, and you'd be perfect to know this because you've seen it all. When they're out and about in public doing appearances, I think one of them's actually passed, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't want to speak. Okay, Butch is gone. Rest in peace to a legend. Do they just talk? Are they just like, hey guys, Butch here? Yeah, I was in the Bushwhackers. That shit was crazy. Or are they always like, because they didn't even say words, Steve.
It was gibberish. I think they have some shoot interviews out, but you have to get past that strong Australian accent. Actually, it's New Zealand that they're from.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's just warriors walking around. I saw that movie about it. So they just are, I mean, that actually makes me respect them a little bit more. I thought they were just a couple of guys, drunk Australian dudes. Maybe they went to a soccer match, a little football, if you will, and got a little sauced up. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
New Zealand, they're just ready to rock.
And another thing I appreciate about them, man, when I found out who they were before the Bushwhackers, they were called the Sheep Herders, and like they could pass as a tag team in ECW as the Sheep Herders because this was in the 80s, and they would have some gruesome matches, totally unlike the Bushwhackers. Like Bushwhackers compared to Sheep Herders, it's like HBO compared to Disney or something. I don't know, man. Like The
Oh
Wire,
wow,
yeah, bro. So yeah, like
the
it's always
sheep
funny.
herders. That sounds even lamer than the Bushwhackers in
It
some way,
does.
but that's respect, dude. I didn't even know they went by any other names, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny how you see like certain characters before they joined Vince's company, man. You know, it's like night and day with some of them.
You can't get bloody just yet, boys.
But
Not till 96.
even though even though they won, Fink, he's had enough, man. And he tries to alert the ref, like, hey, man, nah, fuck this shit. Fuck you too, Whippleman. Get out my face.
Harvey Dickelman, bitch.
Whipple boy.
Yeah, and they get in it, Steve. I mean, and to be honest with you, it's better than the match that we just watched in a lot of ways. Because it's a guy standing up to a bully, Steve. Even if his name's Harvey Whippleman and he looks, again, like some other multiverse version of Ferguson, he's just a nerd. You know, it's just two nerds just getting at it.
Two
And we
nerds
like
fighting.
that.
Fink was ready to throw them things, man. And before the episode ends, we got a Bob Backlund promo. Now he's ringside with Vince and HBK, and he's talking about how he never liked clowns, even as a little boy. And now that I'm a grown man with a little boy's face, I still don't like clowns. All right.
Let me tell you this axiom. He sounds like RFK almost too. He has like that weird like where it sounds painful every time he talks.
He also has that like.
Is he
pinked out
still alive?
Bob Backlund, yeah.
That's nuts, Steve. When was he originally wrestling? Like in the 70s?
In the 70s, man. He had like a historic run in the 70s. I think he was champ for like 3 or 4 years before.
He was like a legit like Greco-Roman wrestler though too. Like wasn't he like some like an actual athlete of some kind? That's crazy though. He's still alive. Damn. God.
He actually ran
Bob
for office.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did he win, Steve?
No.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't even know what his politics are, but you know, I could take a wild guess. But
Steve, this is Jesse, the Body Ventura, just cutting in here real quick. I have the documents. Bob Backlund is not a good politician.
he's eating the dogs. He's eating the cats.
China. You're getting there, Steve. That's getting good. We're getting right into it, Steve. We're about to have him as president again. We need this fucking impression. We need it.
That following year, 1995, Immature releases We Got It. And yeah, we talked about this earlier, man, but it's got the title track and one of my favorite R&B songs, not just from this era, from the 90s, but of all time, man. Feel the funk. It's sexual. It's exotic. I give it a fucking 10, Matt.
Feel the funk, dude.
It's sexy.
Later known as IMX, Steve?
Yeah, that's towards the 2000s, man. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe Identity Crisis. But yeah, I think Marcus Houston, he might have still had that Mo from Three Stooges top. I don't know what he was doing with that either. With the perm. Yeah.
Oh, no. You know, people were trying to figure it out in the 90s. You had to get weird with it every once in a while. Yeah, this Skip Scarborough all over this song. This guy wrote a lot of Immature songs, Steve. I don't know who Skip Scarborough was.
Apparently that dude.
He's best known, according to Wikipedia, for romantic ballads. So there you go.
That's his niche, man. Feel. I mean, Marcus Houston was killing it, man. You know, he was on the stage with Sister. He was in House Party 3 with Immature, and you know, he was killing it in the R&B world as a preteen going into his teenage years. So shout out to Immature.
Hell yeah, dude. Why'd they change their name?
Just
because they got older?
Yeah, because I think around that time they were like 18 or past 18. So it's like let's switch it up. So that makes sense.
Dude, he's right. He's like our same age too, Steve. He's like 2 years older than us. Just living the life. We were listening to him like, dude, this guy is so cool. He's 2 years older than us. We could have been hanging out with Marquez Houston, Steve. We never would have. He's too cool, but
Way
shout
too
out,
cool.
man.
Yeah, we'll take the spillover though. But
Yeah, hell yeah.
in 1997, Family Matters is in season 9, episode 10, Original Gangsta Dawg. Trouble comes to town when Urkel's cousin, Original Gangsta Dawg, pays a visit and clashes with both Carl and Harriet.
Season 9's taking some swings, Steve. This is one of the most crazy seasons of a show. Like the weirdness that it got to by the end here. I mean, they're making Jaleel White. This guy better been getting paid maximum dollars because he's putting in maximum effort.
It's totally the Urkel show at this point. And, he put out a book recently, man. I want to get that. And
I definitely want to read that shit.
He goes into detail about his time, obviously, with the show. And did you know that he was the original Rudy? He could have been the Rudy on the Cosby Show. He was one of the 3 contestants left. It was him, Keisha Knight Pulliam, and some other kid. Because the Rudy character was supposed to be a boy.
Damn. I wonder if he got that if he would have done this. Like Urkel may have never existed like this.
Right. Like that's a whole big what if, man. Because they did overlap. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, it tracks though. I mean, he's a fucking great actor. I didn't know he was like that level of child actor though, where he's like, what was he, fucking 3 years old? They're trying to get him to act in this shit? Jesus. Because he started this. How old was he when they started this? He couldn't have been more than like 12 or 13, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Like
that's why. That's crazy. I never heard that. Jaleel White could have his. That's weird to think about. Like if he gets something like that, he wouldn't have. It might not have led to this. Like because this was his pop then, I guess.
Some butterfly because they were going to cancel this show after I want to say the first season. And then, like, his one episode, which he was only assigned to, he killed it.
Did I do that? We're going to make millions. Yeah, so as we're going, we're telling you all this to explain that this episode is crazy as fuck. And it starts in the Winslow household. Steve's just sort of, he's getting, doing his Urkel thing in the Winslow house. Nobody's around, and somebody knocks on the door, and oh my God, it's fucking his cousin, Steve. I would love to know exactly how they pulled this off because I'm dumb right now and I can't think of it, but it's perfectly done, okay? He's talking to himself. Cornelius looks exactly like Urkel, except he's just cool, Steve. He's a little street,
Yeah, he's got those Lil Wayne from the Carter One dreads. His full name is Cornelius Eugene Urkel, but he dropped the Urkel and he goes by Original Gangsta Dawg now. But you can call him OGD. Yeah.
OGD, son. He's from Detroit, Steve. He's in town, and Steve's like, why are you here? And he says, dude, I want to hang out with you, man. I just want to hang out with my cousin, man. Just chill out. And Steve's like, why are you really here? You want some money? And I give credit where credit's due. OGD's like, yeah, I want about $4,000, which it's like, damn, bro. At least like finesse the shit a little bit. But he wants $4,000, Steve, because he owes this fucking thuggish, ruggish dude named Fresh Squeeze.
Yeah.
Which that's dope, Steve. Original Gangsta Dawg. I'm not fucking with that. Fresh Squeeze. That's pretty tight, Steve.
He'll turn your lemons to lemonade if you don't pay him.
Bitch. Squeeze his ass. That's when he sends henchmen out. That's what he says. Man, go squeeze his ass. So, fucking Urkel's like, man, get the fuck out of here, dude. Nobody wants you here. I don't want you here. This ain't even my house. So get the fuck out of here. Okay, I got to go on some kind of, he's going someplace. He's going out of town, Steve, to some weird shit. I don't know what it's called.
Well, can I stay here while you're gone? Man, you can't even stay here while I'm here.
Yeah, dude. So Steve kicks him out, leaves with his bags because he was literally out the door, Steve. Yeah. Steve. We cut. We think everything's fine. Everybody's gone. Fucking OGD, fucking hiding the bushes, comes back and just breaks in. Which, like, I took the note. It's like, dude, you're breaking into a cop's house, bro?
Right.
What a dumbass move. But that's what he's doing, Steve. He's a fucking little cat burglar, OGD.
just uses a credit card to jimmy into the Winslow household, man.
Is
And
this
then,
Bromfield?
right.
Remember Bromfield, dude. OGD bringing a little fucking Detroit criminal element to fucking Chicago, Steve. They didn't need this.
And then when the Winslows come back, look like they come back from shopping or whatever. And I gotta say, Laura, even though she's trash as a human being, she is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, dude, she's looking right and tight in season 9, Steve. She got it together. I'm fully into it. I get it. And so does OGD, because he's like, damn, who the fuck, but she's like, who are you? Because you definitely aren't Steve. And it's like, also, this bitch is crazy because every guy that's into you is the exact same guy. So what kind of mindfuck shit is this?
Right.
It's just a different like vibe of dude. But yeah, because Stefan's also still in the mix, Steve, that we'll find out later.
And Harriet's like, who are you and what are you doing in my house?
And he's lying and like, yo, Steve, Steve he looks exactly like this. He said I can hang out. And it doesn't help that 3J's bitch ass is just like, yo, man, what's up? Love you. Stranger that kind of looks like Steve. But 3J's all about it.
He's all about the street shit. You are way too cool to be an Urkel. I just met you, but I like you. I'm gonna get a poster of you on my wall.
Yo, man, let me get that bag real quick. It's like, nah, you can't touch that little kid. Laura is like, I guess she sees, I guess, Steve in this guy because because the Winslows are nice, they let him stay because they think Steve wanted him to. So later we cut, Laura's bringing down some blankets and fucking OGD's is getting a little forward. He tells her straight up, like, hey, I'm definitely into this. And we got nothing but opportunity right here on this couch. Let's dirty up that blanket real quick.
But she's deciding between two guys already. And, he's not on the roster.
I don't like you or those bitch ass lines you be telling people. But you know what? Maybe I could take you to a Missy Elliott concert tomorrow. But it ain't a date.
Yeah, for somebody who's like not interested, that's a pretty cool rejection. It's like, yeah, I don't like you, but you can come see this really cool rapper with me.
Yeah. And I gotta say, a great opportunity there too to see a legend that close up in a little ass club like that. Dope. But so fucking OGD thinks he's got his little game is tight and shit, but I don't know. You can tell Laura's not into it, but she's really kind of a downer all the time, so I don't really know how to read that. She likes guys with their names on credit cards, Steve, not on their arm. Okay.
Oh.
But 3J's digging those tats, Steve, because he's like, yo, those tats, which is one just says OGD and the other is like I think a bulldog. Dog? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's something that was on the fucking wall of the fucking tattoo parlor, Steve. On like, it's like the most basic tattoo.
Look like sticker tattoos, man. Like I couldn't tell if it was a pit bull or a schnauzer.
But respect also real quick to OGDs. I keep wanting to say ODB just because it's like a reflex, but to the flex of wearing shirts with just open and nothing on under it. I wish I could do that, Steve. Even to this day, I just wish I had that kind of confidence.
The wife beater showing the Tommy Hilfiger emblem on the jeans. Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not? But 3J's cool as fuck. He loves it. 3J is cool as fuck, honestly. I'm digging 3J's vibe. He's
Orlando Brown. Yeah, him too.
He's cool. But he gives OGD a CD, and then OGD's like, yo, you like this shit? This is something, and whatever he gives him as a parental advisory sticker on it, Steve. It's crazy.
He probably gave him like a Kenny G CD or something, but like
yeah.
Oh man, thank you, OGD. I got a CD for you too. So they have like a gift exchange, and then right as that's going on, Carl comes back home, and he's like, "Man, who is this dude at my house?" "Oh, he's cool, Carl. He's Steve's cousin, original Gangsta Dawg."
And Carl's not cool with it, but OGD also, he's like, "Man, nobody told me cops lived here." Straight to the guy's face. Like I was like, damn, bro, like at least hold it in. It sounds a little suspect.
"You in school?" "No." Why not? Hey, man, I don't like the third degree. Well, I need to know about people who are in my house. Then he sees the CD and he was just like, we don't play that kind of music in this house, 3J, but no buts. And then I think
Literally, you're not listening to this song about butts. Okay,
yeah,
get out of here.
they talk about hating the police. Well, you don't want the kid to hear the truth? I think it's your bedtime now, 3J.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that shit never really happened to me where like somebody's like talk shit to my parents like that, but I know that voice very well where it's like, okay, you're gonna go up to bed now. And you're like, oh shit. The robot came out.
He tells him, man, as long as you're in this house, this kind of music is off limits. Man, whatever happened to freedom of speech? You can listen to this music all you want outside of my house.
Yeah, he opens the door. I gotta say, Carl is like handling this smooth as hell. He's like, that's fine. Go outside. You got the First Amendment all day. And when you're in this house, the fucking Constitution is my fucking word, bitch. So shut the fuck up. So OGD putting on a lot of airs, but he doesn't do anything really because I think Harriet comes down and is like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And Carl's like, I'm going on a walk. And just leaves and just has to get it out.
Since when do we open our home to hoodlums? Like, why don't you kick him out? This is your house, Carl. I really don't like the energy the Winslows are having in this episode. Like, what happened to the backbone? This isn't season 1 energy. Like, where's this Carl?
Also, it's a kid talking shit. I feel like as a couple, like when that happens, you got to solidify the team here and be like, okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna get something done here as a team. Maybe it's gonna be whooping this kid's ass, but definitely do not like just because he looks like Steve Urkel doesn't mean you have to treat him like Steve Urkel. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
And Harriet is very empathetic. Like he just hasn't had an easy life, Carl. Like I don't.
Bitch, I don't care. Like it ain't gonna get easier when I fucking cripple this kid. Because that's what I see. Carl's a good man, Steve. Because I'd look for something hard and solid and just go to town on this kid and teach him. Because he's still a kid.
Give him the Jazzy Jeff.
Just fucking, yeah, exactly. But he'd be unconscious. There would be no screaming. But Carl leaves. He's got to just blow some steam off. He doesn't want to say anything fucked up to his wife or in front of 3J or to this fucking tool that has a bullshit name, all that. Comes back. Harriet's making some tea. Carl's chilled out. He took some time. He walked around the block and he got it out. And she's like, it took you 2 hours. He's like, there was a lot of steam to blow off. Okay.
Yeah. That kid is trouble, Harriet.
If you see a dent in the side of the house, don't worry about it. Okay. I was just doing some Kill Bill shit.
But Harriet apparently called OGD's grandma in Detroit, and he's a good kid. He just hadn't had a good lifestyle. He's a thug, Harriet. And we are against those thugs. Thugs.
It's the thuggish, ruggish bone. This guy is he's OGD, Steve, all day. Just had a tough life. But Harriet's like, look, you got to, because that's why he distrusts cops, Steve. Because in his environment, cops are all bad, And I get that. I kind of feel that in this way just as a pothead because for the longest time in our lives, cops represented somebody to be afraid of.
To take your happiness away.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But Harriet's like, look, you can teach. This is your opportunity, Kyle, to teach him that all cops are bad, Kyle.
But what about the negative influence he'll have on Richie and 3J? Like, no, I think 3J is here for all the influence.
Yeah, he just wants to hang out. He's cool, but she's like, let's not worry about him rubbing off on the family. Let's hope that our family rubs off on him, Kyle.
We cut to the Sizzle Club and E-Dub. He's with the girls.
Yeah, E-Dub, Steve. Yeah. Hell yeah. Who's E-Dub?
E-Dub, Eddie Winslow, man. He always gets his share, honeys. That's what he said.
What's Laura's friend's name in this? She's fine. This chick was
Max.
definitely Max. Okay, I
I've
had a
always been
crush
a
on
Max.
Max. She's in.
Same.
I'm into it. So they get to the Missy Elliott concert. You know, E-Dub's out looking for Trim, doing his little. He's just got to do a lap, Steve, to get a couple of honeys, get his share. But then cameo alert, Steve. Missy Elliott herself comes out, and this is early Missy, Steve.
Ooh, Johnson like I can't remember how that song, but that's a Timbaland beat though, man. This is like
Always.
debut. Yeah, man. Beginning era of Missy, and I love it, man. Like fresh out the bubble coat.
Suck it to me. Yeah, dude. Like that's one of. I mean, honestly, when I think about it, though, just in terms of like listenability, she's my favorite female MC for sure.
Same.
She's got just like a catalog of fucking hits, and
Get your freak on.
It helps when you got Timbaland doing most of your hit beats. You know, that's always gonna fucking help. I love that. But great performance. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy a lot of the dancing I was seeing in the crowd behind them, or even just OGD. I didn't enjoy that. But there's a guy with some long, like Fabio hair, some white guy there. He's looking insane in the background. Just shout out to that guy.
Some grind, Alex Wright style.
Yeah, dude. But he's got this like Sir Lancelot hair. It just looks crazy at a Missy Elliott concert. I don't know why. This guy's probably cool as fuck. He's at a Missy Elliott concert. I don't know why I'm talking shit. But also just shout out to Missy Elliott, to a former fat person. We both are that. And I just she's, you know, very attractive now. She lost a lot of weight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's still, I mean, I don't know how regularly she's releasing songs, but I'm still listening to a lot of the hits. Let's put it like that. But Missy Elliott kills it. Then we cut back to the Winslows. Carl's just in the house. Somebody knocks on the door. Carl opens it, and it's just this big butchy dude with a duster, Steve. It's Fresh Squeeze. And the name and the look are both insane, and I love it. I mean, he looks like a black cowboy, Steve. He looks like he's Renegade, but Michael Jai White status.
And he's looking for original Gangsta Dawg. Carl tells him that he's at the Sizzle Club, and I don't even think he tells him where he's at, but he's not here. I can only tell you where he's not.
Let me tell you what, man. If you don't tell me where he's at, I'm gonna collect on you. And again, also, this guy doesn't realize he's talking to a cop. You know what I'm saying? There's these thugs that are just getting in the mix here, where it's like you're going in, you might want to just like do a little research. You know, there's probably an FOP sticker someplace on the property, but Carl's like, you know what? Fuck this bullshit. I'm not even scared of you. How many cows did that fucking coat take to make? And the guy, Fresh Squeeze, looks at him. He's about the same as that belt that you got on your waist, fat man. And Carl takes him right to where he wants to go. He's taking him right to OGD, Steve, or so we think.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Fresh Squeeze, dude. That guy. Maybe we need to just write a movie where Fresh Squeeze is the main character, Steve. It's just a legend.
And based off Blue. But
yeah.
Back at Club Sizzle, OGD, he's still trying to press on Laura. And he's just like, when are you going to give me some play? Will you stop running them tired ass lines?
Yeah, dude. She's not into it. And he's I mean, rightfully so. I mean, Laura's looking very sexy right now, but he's just fucking, he's like, dude, this is bullshit. She goes to the bathroom with Max.
Yeah.
He hears the phone ring, picks it up, and again, Jaleel White doing all the heavy lifting in this episode. Who answers the phone on the other end? Stefan Urkel, Steve. He's getting ready for a fucking runway.
In Italy.
I mean, this is crazy, Steve.
And OGD's like, who is this? This is her. This is Laura's man. Well, if you're her man, then why is she here with me at the Missy Elliott concert? And so they have a back and forth. And eventually OGD's like, hey, man, let me pass you on to my man, Tone. Tone? Then he just hangs up.
That's baller. That's a good line. I'm going to steal that. Definitely stealing that. I hope I get to use it. But then Stefan, he's like, man, fuck, man, this is some bullshit. Calls Steve Urkel, who we find out, I don't remember what he called it. He's in a submarine, Steve.
He's in a damn submarine.
Motherfucker's down periscoping with Kelsey Grammer right now. Just fucking, I don't know how you get, this is a camp, is what he described it as, I believe, but he's doing some damage. He's doing some real legit damage, my man.
in 1997, you had this kind of reception, and I can't even get my PlayStation to connect to my fucking Wi-Fi.
Hey, dude, it's Steve Urkel though. He's got he knows all the tech. But as he's talking to Stefan, he realizes OGD is the guy who's like doing this. So he gets on a 3-way call. So we got Jaleel White 3-way in himself. Pause, and they're all talking. OGD's flexing. Steve's in the submarine. He'll overreact to something and like, clumsily bang against the wall, and then we see like a missile get fucking released or a torpedo. So at least twice he might have killed hundreds of people. I don't know where those fucking things are going, Steve.
And he lets OGD know that he'll be back home tomorrow morning.
Yeah, one day. I'll see you then. But shout out again to Jaleel White. Just his back must have hurt so much in season 9 because he's just acting with himself the whole fucking time. That's pretty baller.
Been carrying the show for several seasons, man. But back to the Winslow household, Laura and OGD, they were come back from the concert, and she tells Carl that the concert was the bomb. Oh, I'm assuming that was a good thing. Because he got a cut. Oh my god, he's an old father.
But yeah, dude. I mean, Steve, he's an old man. He's got that dad fucking humor, and but what he doesn't have is any fucking sense of humor about OGD. He's sitting there. They still got a little heat because they got into it, and OGD's like, you know what, man, I'm gonna leave. I'll be gone in like the morning. Which also, if the shit was still on and he said I'll be out by tomorrow morning, I'd be like, no, you'll be out right the fuck now. But Carl's like, you know what? Whatever Harriet said must have gotten through to him because he's like, you don't got to go. There's no rush. He's like, but he tells him Fresh Squeeze came by. He's like, oh shit, I definitely got to go now. And he's like, no, you don't. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And Carl tells him, he's like, I actually recognize that guy. That guy was like a real bad dude in this town. He escaped, but when he showed up to my door, I recognize this fucking guy. This guy's a creep. So I told him I was bringing him to you. On the way, we made a stop to the precinct, and this dude, you should have seen his fucking face when he realized he saw 5 of my boys coming up to arrest his ass. That's slick, Steve. I don't like that. I don't like snitches and all that. Nobody likes that, but I like this. Carl Winslow definitely got this episode too.
He did a pump fake, man. And he was like, "Oh, dude, you solid for that. All right.
Cops are cool, man. Maybe they aren't all bad. You're
not a piece of shit." And you know what, OGD? I love how they refer to him as OGD, not Cornelius Eugene. These grown ass folks, like, y'all know he has a government name, but y'all see you calling him Original Gangsta Dawg. Original Gangsta Dawg, you could stay a little longer despite bringing these dangerous people to my house and, jimmying into my house and playing gangster music. And
lying to our faces, saying that somebody we do know said that you could stay. I mean, it's all bad, but that's how good the Winslows are, Steve. They're sweet. And they just want to help this guy. He's had a hard life, Steve. He's just had a tough life.
Or to Jay-Z. Yeah. But 3J doesn't want OGD to leave. He needs him. He needs you, OG.
Man, I just need a baller in my life, OGD. But OGD levels with him. He's like, man, you don't need to be like me. You got a dad, you got a family, and that's all that matters. So maybe the Winslows did rub off on Original Gangsta Dawg, Steve. Da da da.
Steve makes it back, and he's ready to throw them hands over Laura. It's like, man, whatever you talk about, I'm back to Detroit, man. Peace.
He's like, oh, well, then it's all good. And Steve tries to be cool too, just to, flex in front of 3J, but he just makes a fool of himself. But it's all good, Steve. Stefan, he's getting some sniz in Italy. Steve's here holding it down, and OGD's about to go back to Detroit. Maybe he'll hang out with Martin Payne. Maybe he'll get hooked up with that little crew.
WZUP action, man. Yeah, but
love that.
What a mess this season was. I think this is the final season, as it should have been. I think they jumped the shark too many times by this point.
Well, it got to time. I think there was time travel involved. I think at one point he switches bodies with Carl at one point.
He becomes Bruce Lee. He becomes Albert Einstein. He was a
Yeah,
pirate.
yeah. All those inventions, and he couldn't just, invent a sex robot, which I feel like would have solved all his problems, and he could have just made $1 trillion. But anyway, those are just the thoughts of Matt Geddick, Steve.
On that same day in 1997, Good Will Hunting premieres in theaters. Will Hunting, a janitor at MIT, has a gift for mathematics, but needs help from a psychologist to find direction in his life. Directed by Gus Van Sant, starring Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård, and Minnie Driver.
It's a good movie. It's one of those. It's kind of sad. It's kind of like it's not one that I rewatched a lot, but I found it good. I like Damon and Affleck. I like the team up.
Yeah, everyone loves Robin Williams. Something that's really cool, when Robin Williams passed in 2014, that bench that they sat at in the movie, it became like an impromptu memorial where fans would leave flowers, quotes, and various items at the bench, man. Uh, you know, if I had the funds, I would like to do a tour. It would take Scrooge McDuck money for me to do that kind of stuff, man. But like, if I'm in the area of something like that, I would like to just see it, just to, take a
Yeah,
picture
hell
and,
yeah.
you know,
That's cool too. I mean, Robin Williams. I don't know. Some people have like this weird like opinion of him and stuff, but I think he's a legend, and I do think it's cool, like something little like that where they just like paid tribute to these like seminal moments. I mean, that's a huge moment in this movie. This movie was huge. It launched the careers of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck for sure. And I think it made Robin Williams like it. He'd already done like Dead Poet Society and stuff like
yeah.
that, but I think it gave people more insight. They're like, this guy really can like pull off like a dramatic role, like because he's really good at it, man. He was so good at that.
And his acting could pull on the heartstrings, man. And it's another great example of comedians being able to pull off dramatic roles. Jim Carrey is another one.
Well, and they're so good at ad libbing, like I think that leads to it.
Yeah.
And part of that is something that I found out. I think it was actually in a video on YouTube, but like, Robin Williams was ad libbing a lot of stuff in this movie. And like literally the last line in the movie that he says, which is like, "Oh, stole my life." He ad libbed that. That was not written. He just like did the scene a couple times and came out with that. And it's literally like, to me, the perfect ending to the movie. He gets that letter from Matt Damon kind of explaining what's going on. And he reads it, smiles, just puts it down, says that, closes the door. And yeah, man, more than anything, this movie just makes me want to watch, because there was just so many good dramatic movies he did that I don't think he gets enough credit for. I think he gets a lot of credit for this. He did a lot in the 90s that
1 Hour Photo. I don't think that was the 90s.
That was 2000s.
2000s, yeah.
He made this crazy movie that was actually, to me, the greatest interpretation of like heaven and hell. It was called What Dreams May Come. I don't know if you ever saw that. That movie's, dude, it's really kind of scary and freaky, but it's very emotional. It's very heartbreaking, but he's in it and gives like to me, like one of the most dramatic performances, because there's no happiness in this movie, Steve. It's until the end, there's no happiness. It just is like just a fucking bummer, and he kills it. It's one of those like makes you cry every time.
The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't think I've seen that. But then you have movies like Mrs. Doubtfire, like Genie and fucking Aladdin, like all these movies that he did that are kids movies. He just was so talented, so fucking talented. Yeah, Death to Smoochie. Shout out to Death to Smoochie too. That movie's dope.
But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or takeaways?
I didn't really have anything today because I've just had a busy schedule, but I've seen something done on other podcasts that I just think is interesting, where we go through, like, people just go through old baseball cards and basketball cards and stuff. So I figured, let me just pick like 5 random cards in one of the boxes that I found in my parents' house. So we're dealing with this, Steve. It's filled with cards. I've taken a little pile of cards out. We're just going to go through a couple and see, maybe just comment on if we remember these people or just the fashion in general. I feel like these are baseball cards. There's going to be a lot of people we don't remember, but I think it'll be fun. So First of all, let's see what year we're working with, just to give you a little idea about that. Okay, so we're working with 1991. These are Don Russ baseball cards, 1991, Steve. So right off the bat, this sounds more like a problem with your penis than a name, but Dale Sveum. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dale Sveum.
No.
He played third base for the Brewers in 91. He made a comeback in 91 after missing most of the previous 2 years with injuries. Dale Sveum. There we go. And I'm looking at this, Steve, so we're just going to go with that because this must have been the boring pile because I'm seeing just, oh, okay, I got a good one right here. Sammy Sosa, Steve. Sammy Sosa, not in the fucking Cubs. This is White Sox Sammy Sosa.
Oh, wow.
Before the weirdness that he's gone through. Is this his fucking rookie card? No. 2 years in the league. Had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs on opening day in 91 versus the Orioles, Steve. So shout out to Sammy Sosa.
Keep that one in plastic.
Yeah, shit. I'm going to put that back right now. But that's it. Just have.
The only thing I got, man, in 1992, SNL's airing musical guests Neil Young and Tom Arnold, and that was a solid episode. It's the one with Bill Clinton going to McDonald's. And
hell yeah. I love that episode. Let me get some of them fries.
That's a classic, man. And there's a skit where there's this fictional band called Dawg performing, and Adam Sandler is like the singer and guitarist. I've never seen this until recently, man. And it's him. I think Robert Schmeigel's in the band. A couple of other guys are in this band, and it's like a fake performance, but it's hilarious. Like Chris Farley comes from the crowd, and he's like a craze fan. But yeah, the band is called Dawg, D-O-G. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister, feel the fall alone. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm and our guy Clark the Shark One Podcastle. This is Steve G and Matt G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
Feel the funk.